welcome YouTube. Hope you are all super duper. It's Friday. We have made it. We are at the end of the week. Where have we made it to, Neil? We have made it to the end of the week. I'm just plugging in my vlogging camera. Not that I'm using it again today. I'm just going to charge it up. Ready for next week. I need to get quite a few bits and pieces done next week with that badger. Anyway, yes, we made it to the end of the working week. The weekend is upon us. Can obviously be a little bit of a dangerous time at the weekend for some of us, but it shouldn't be. Not if you follow my philosophies, banking calories through the week, and so on and so forth. I'm ready for the weekend this week. It's been a tough week this week. I found it, I was saying this yesterday, just lacking a little bit of motivation this week. I'm just slipping into holiday mode. That's all I'm doing. I'm on a little slip into holiday mode, which is absolutely, it is what it is. I'm just ready for a break. Ready for a little break, ready for a week off, just to sort of, have a little reset and get the head back into where we need it to be, as it were. So yeah, it's just ready for the weekend, ready for a nice time. That's what I'm gonna do this weekend. We've got 2 weekends till holiday. We're gonna have a really nice chilled weekend. We've got a new dog coming. Not a new dog that we dog sit all the time. They're back. They'll be. So we're gonna have a 3-dog weekend, but yeah, just a nice chilled weekend. Anyway, how are you all? As always, this is a weight loss life. If you've got any questions, get them in. That's what I'm here for. I'm here till 12 p.m. Then I'm going to go and smash a piece of lasagna in because that is my lunch. Made lasagna the other night. I think Wednesday night. Do we have it Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't remember. But anyway, I had lasagna the Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm going to have, I made 4 portions. So me and Rachel had a portion each. And we're both having a portion each for lunch this morning, which makes it very, very easy to track because I can just copy what I had the other night. And makes it very, very easy to make lunch. It's just a little ping in the old microwave. So, yes, can't wait for that. That is going to be lunch today. So, yeah, I'm on till 12, and then I'm going to go smash some lasagna. So we do the top 5 this morning. Let's see who's in on TikTok. Callum's in at number 1. Kelly C's in at number 2. Lou's in at number 3. Faye's in at number 4. And Mr. John Jackson is in at number 5. Amy's in. Good morning. Somebody one. Good morning. Good morning. James Ridley. Good morning. Sheila. Good morning. Anna. Good morning. James. Morning. Fri-Weigh. Good luck to all weighing in. Yes, it is check-in day today. I have been working my way through what we call standard check-ins. Then I'm going to get stuck into challenge check-ins. It is the end of the March 2025 Boss Your Weight Loss Challenge. Well, it'll be officially tomorrow because 3 people that do the challenge do check in on a Saturday. And they have messaged me this week saying, am I still all right to check in on Saturday? I said, that's absolutely fine. It's going to be a very close run thing. There are a few ties at the moment, and I think there'll be a few more ties for that top spot at the end of it. And then it's down to me to determine who is the overall winner. And do you know what? It's the worst thing for me because honestly, I wish everyone could win. And it is the worst thing about doing it, something like a challenge, because, there has to be a winner, right? There has to be a winner. So, and I kind of got how I'm going to determine who the overall winner is, if there is an overall tie. I'm not saying there will be an overall tie. There are a few people tying at the moment. But someone did ask me yesterday, has anyone got top marks? So it's scored out of 100, right? It is scored out of 100. There's 100 points on offer. Has anyone got top marks? And I'm going to tell you now, no. No one so far has got top marks. Could someone that's checking in today potentially get top marks? Yes. Yes, they could. So we'll see where we're at the end of it. Very, very hard, though, to get top marks. Very, very hard. I have made it quite tough to get top marks. But anyway, that is today. So everyone is still, there's a few that if from last week, they're still in the running. So we'll see. We will see at the end of it. But at some point over the weekend, one of you will be £500 richer. One of you will be £150 richer. And one of you will be £100 richer. I'm also going to do some prizes for 4th, 5th, I might even do some prizes for 6th, 7th, and 8th, yeah, because it has been such a. I've never had a challenge where so many people have and I've made this challenge a little bit trickier than any of the others. You know, I've pushed the boundaries a little bit for most people. And yeah, I've never had so many people be so consistent and just absolutely nail it. So anyway, there we go. What are these challenges? The Boss Your Weight Loss Challenge. This has been the 4th one. And basically, if you are on my one-to-one plan, right, so you're on my one-to-one weight loss plan, you can enter a challenge twice a year where basically I push you to do what you should be doing week in, week out. Right, that's what the challenge is, and there's 6 check-ins over the challenge. You check in every couple of weeks, and depending on how well you do on the targets I set you, depends on how many points you score during the challenge. And like I say, there's a £500 prize up for grabs for first place, 150 for second, 100 for third. And the next one will be September. So the next one we're going to be starting on, beginning to the middle of September. It will take you right up to Christmas. So it'll fall straight after the kids' summer holidays, and it will drive you forward to Christmas. Yeah. So if you want to take part in the September 2025 challenge, you want to win 500 quid. And which you will get like a week and a half before Christmas, right? 500 quid tax free in your bank account. You need to be on by the time the challenge starts in September, you simply need to be on the one-to-one challenge, and you need to have entered you need to be on my one-to-one plan, and you need to have entered the challenge. And even if you enter the challenge and you don't win it, right, you will have been if you complete the challenge, you will have been the most consistent you've ever been, and you will have lost a decent amount of weight, and that should be the biggest prize for you, right? Obviously, a little bit of cash at the end of it helps, doesn't it? It's tempting. It's kept me on track massively. Yeah, Callum's entered the challenge, and the big thing I think it's done for Callum is steps. I know you've always struggled with steps, and I'm not saying steps have been the easiest with the targets I've set you, Callum, but you've nailed it. Right, and you have took yourself out of your comfort zone. I know that, and that is what it's all about. To achieve anything, we do need to take ourselves out of our little comfort zone, and that can be quite hard to do. Self-motivating. So entering something like working with a coach like me, I'll take you a little bit out of your comfort zone if I'm your weight loss coach. But then entering the challenge, we'll just take it a little bit more. And I think everyone that's done the challenge will agree. It's all achievable. It's just down to you putting it in. You know, I don't set any unrealistic targets for any of you. You know, Stefan, good morning. Let's see. Have I missed anyone? Going to Menorca. When? Today? Wasn't happy with checking this morning. Yeah, Kelly, but I think I've sent you feedback, and I think we can't, when there's certain things that are maybe counterbalancing the scales that's kind of out of our control, which there is, I just don't think we can be unhappy. We might not be happy, but we shouldn't be unhappy either. Does that make sense? When are you going? When are you going? Tell me when you're going to Menorca. What's a medium portion of fish and chips from a chippy in Cal? So like a regular. So if you just go to the chip and say, "Hiya, can I get fish and chips, please?" Right, I would say your portion of chips is going to be knocking on about 700 calories. Your fish is going to be 750. So a regular chips is about 750 calories from the chippy, and a regular fish is going to be about 450. So you're probably talking about 1,200 calories, something like that. If you whack some mushy peas on there, you're going to be up to about 1,300, which, in all honesty, I don't think is too bad for the volume of food you're going to get. And yeah, I'd say you now, obviously it's a little bit subjective because what one portion, a regular chips from one chippy is going to be different from another chippy. Same as a regular fish is going to be different. But generally, look, chippies don't fillet their own fish. They buy fish in from a supplier, and, the fish that my local chippy uses, I actually know the supplier to that chippy, and they supply so many chippies around here, and they literally have, this is what a regular fish is, this is what a large fish is. And a piece of fish, it might be a regular fish, piece of haddock or cod, might be 150 grams, right? 150 grams of haddock or cod is like 125 calories. So it's only really the batter and then the oil that soaks into the batter that is going to whack the calories up. But you're probably only talking, the batter on fish is probably only going to be about 80, 90 calories. And then a fish might soak up 4 or 5 teaspoons of oil. So that's where you're at like your 450. It's not as bad as everyone thinks. It generally isn't as bad as everyone thinks. The batter and oil on a regular fish is probably about 300 calories. And then the fish itself will be about 100, 150. I love fish and chips as well. Absolutely love it. In fact, I had fish and chips last night. I didn't have chips, actually. I had fish and mushy peas. And I'll tell you why. We were meant to have gammon for our tea last night. And I only bought the gammon. I bought the gammon last Saturday. All right. But gammon is cured. It's got salt in it. But I opened it up and I was like, I'm not 100% happy with that. I was happy to feed it to the dogs, but I'm not happy. I was like, it's just on the cusp. It had just started, like, it had gone a little bit, not grey. You can get a little bit of green in gammon, even if it's a few days old. Generally, it's just the nitrates that are changing, right? That's all it is. It's just the nitrates changing. Very similar to, like, you can have steak in the fridge for a few days, and it can go from being bright red to being quite a dull colour. Doesn't mean the steak's gone off. It's just the colour of the blood changes slightly over time, depending on how fresh the meat is or, how long it's been sat in a bag for. So, it's just basic oxidation. It's oxidization from being in the open air, So if you get one big piece of steak, the end of it will always oxidize and it'll be quite dark in color. And then when you slice it up, the middle bits that haven't been subjected to air, and any meat can be similar. So anyway, but I still looked at this gammon. I was like, no. I was a bit 50-50 with it. So I was like, what? I'll cook that. The dogs can have it. And I got a large, lightly battered fish and a large peas. That was it, which I've tracked at 900 calories. So I've tracked my large peas at about 200 calories and my large, lightly battered at 700, because the large fish from our chippy is a great big whacking piece of fish. Hiya, last 5 weeks I've been hovering 1 pound up and down. Last week is all-inclusive holiday for a week. Hell. Caroline, if you've been hovering 1 up, 1 down, you're just maintaining. So you're not in a calorie deficit. So, seeing a weekly fluctuation of 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, there's no fat loss really in that weekly fluctuation. You're seeing a pound, where your water weight's gone up a little bit, and then the week after your water weight's dropped, food weight's dropped a little bit. That is what you're seeing. Now you have put, and that's over the last 5 weeks. So for whatever reason, Caroline, you're not in a calorie deficit. Now, if you're sat there now going, I am in a calorie deficit, you're not, right? I always say this, like, 2 weeks of, pound up, pound down over 2 weeks. We can't look too deep into it. 5 weeks, you're getting to that point there where if you've basically, whatever I weighed 5 weeks ago, I'm kind of weighing now. That's a maintenance. So, if you've been tracking to a calorie deficit and your weight's maintained, you've just been a little bit inaccurate and a little bit unaccountable on the tracking side of things. Why? Could it be you slipping into holiday mode a bit early? You might have had half terms. The weather's been good. A few more events on, and it's just things just haven't quite gone the way they should. Next week, all-inclusive holiday. No need for help. Holidays are there to be enjoyed. Go and enjoy. You can't change the past, right? You can change the future, but holidays are holidays. And if you've had the mindset, I'm going on holiday and I really wanted to, and you haven't done, it's just a learning curve. Don't let it affect your holiday, right? If you get to your all-inclusive holiday and you've not lost the weight you want to lose, don't then go, right, well, I'll have to restrict myself on holiday. No, you don't. Go on holiday, enjoy yourself. When you come back, learn from what you've done the 5 to 6 weeks. If things haven't been quite right, let's have a refresh and a reset and get back into it when you get back on holiday, and have an amazing holiday. Karen G, good morning. Kirsty B, good morning. Next year, should hear if I can have an adapted room within next year. Should hear if I can have adapted within 2 weeks of. Say that again, Kelly. I've got quite. I'm not quite getting the gist. I assume an adaptive room is obviously to help with like mobility and stuff like that, where you've got supports and stuff. I just didn't quite understand the 2 weeks bit, but yeah, if that's definitely going to improve your life, Kelly, hopefully you'll get that. My mum is mean to come to Spain. Oh, he's meant to come to Spain with me, but now has a door ulcer and varicose veins. So hopefully, oh, she can come. Is that a leg ulcer write that again, Stefan, for me again? I'm pretty good at predictive texting if it doesn't quite go right, but I assume she's got a leg ulcer and a varicose veins, which can be really painful. Varicose veins. But yeah, I don't. I suppose veins with pressure on planes and stuff. There could be, but hopefully she'll be in a position to come, mate. Not long now, is it? A couple of weeks. Yeah, sets were tough, but I even impressed myself. Yeah, you did really good, Callum. You really, really did. And you kept it going, and that's what we've got to do. We'll check in next Friday as things have been crazy, not been at home. Hannah, absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. Check-ins to me get very chilled out. Well, they feel like the extra. Once the challenge ends, I kind of get like, the challenge check-ins take me about 10 minutes to sort out, right? Whereas a normal check-in can take me anything between, honestly, it can take me a minute. Sometimes it can take me 10 minutes. It all depends on how much the client's struggling, how much help they need. If I get a positive check-in where, someone checks in, steps are good, weight, scales have done what they should be doing, measurements are as they should be doing, I don't really need to, as a coach, say too much, just a bit of an encouragement post that they've done really, really well and crack on. My expertise is required when my clients are struggling a little bit. And I'm I always say this. I think I maybe put myself down a little bit in a way. I always say I'm very, very lucky that, I don't have a large percentage of clients that struggle. And it's not really luck. It's the fact that my plan's good. And I'm going to blow my own trumpet a little bit. It is, out of all the check-ins I get, I would say 75% of the check-ins I get are positive check-ins where people are losing weight, doing what they should be doing, getting the results in. So it's the 25% that I need to dedicate my time to. And those 25%, that's where my time is taken up. Now, someone that's absolutely flying at the moment, in a couple of months' time, they might be the one struggling and someone that's struggling now. So it kind of, but I never really have to dedicate more time, than 25% of time to 25% check-ins. And like I say, some check-ins can take 10 to 15 minutes, but the challenge check-ins, whether they're positive or they've not quite got the results that they were looking for, they always do take a bit of time. So I've got to fill in the challenge check-in sheet. I've got to go through the check-in itself and update the progress sheet and then have a little look at what's been going on. So they can take 5 to 10 minutes. To sort out the final challenge check-ins take about 20 minutes because I've also got to calculate bonus points. But yeah, it's like from next week when it's just standard check-ins, it does make my life a little bit easier. And I've got standard check-ins now for the rest of June, July, and August before we fire up the challenge. So I am going to get the details. Is initial payment for one-to-one plan 2 payments, fee plus first month? So is that £60? Deaconu 23. So yeah, basically, right. So when you come onto the challenge, when you sign up to my one-to-one plan, there's a $29.99 fee to sign up, and that covers your plan, it covers your ebook, it gets you all booked in, instant access to the community. When you then start on plan, your subscription of $29.99 a month starts, and I ask for a minimum 3 months payment. Now, don't get me wrong. If, for example, you signed up today, $29.99, right, to come on plan, and the next start date to come on plan is the 16th of June. So a week on Monday, I'll get you going. So if you sign up today, you get instant access to the community. You get to come in, you get to chat to people, you get to come on any of the community sessions that we do and all this, that, and the other. But you'll officially start on plan. And officially, that is when your check-in should start. If you literally say to me, your subscription should start. If you say to me, is there any chance my subscription can start on payday, which is the 28th of this month or the end? That's absolutely fine. I don't mind pushing it back a week or two. All right. Likewise, some people, I've only really, and to be honest with you, the way I've done things now, I used to in the past, have a waiting list for people coming on plan. But that was when I used to push my plans massively. When I first started as a weight loss coach, I was literally every live, get on plan, get on this, get on that. Sometimes I forget to even mention it. I used to post all the time on socials. And I'd have 20 people at a time sometimes waiting to come on plan. And I only start 5 a week. So you'd sign up to plan, and then you wouldn't start for 3 weeks. So your first subscription will start further down the line. I've, over the last 18 months, 2 years, I've consistently got about 100, 150 active one-to-one plan clients. So if a few people drop off at once, I might push it a little bit more. When things get a little bit quieter, I might put a bit of an offer in. But really, I don't really have waiting lists anymore. So if you sign up, you're never waiting more than a week to start on plan. So, if you do sign up, it does say in your sign up, it's $29.99 sign up and then $29.99 a month subscription for a minimum of 3 months. So in total, it's 120 quid, but it is spread out. But yeah, like I say, if you're going to start on plan 4 days after signing up, and you sort of say to me, is there any chance I can pay my first subscription on payday at the end of the month? Not a problem. Just let me know, and I can sort that out for you. Yeah. So if you signed up today, it'd be $29.99, and then officially your first subscription would start a week on Monday when you start. So 8 or 9 days down the line. But like I say, if it's a case of can I pay it at the end of the month, so I'll just pay one in June, one in July, one at the end of August for my minimum 3 months. No, that's not an issue. Would the plan still start on the 16th, even if we push the subscription back to pay? Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, of course. No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. No, you'll start on the 16th, and if we put the first subscription back to the end of the month, I actually prefer the subscriptions going out at the end of the month, so then all the subscriptions go through each month in one lump sum, and then that gets paid in. It actually works out better for me. So generally, anyone that starts after the middle of the month, I normally automatically put your subscription at the end of the month anyway. When your subscription is paused, how long do you have to rejoin on the same plan? 6 months. 6 months, really. I think if you go any more past 6 months, I'd want to do your new plan and refresh things a little bit and start things up. So 6 months. But if you have been on plan, and I know, Pete, you're thinking of possibly coming back after you've done your holiday. If you want to come back on plan, just drop me a message. But yeah, normally 6 months is the cut-off point. Some people don't message me and they just I've had a couple of people that finished in December, and then they've just in April just re-signed up to plan, and they're quite happy to pay a startup fee. And if you do that, I'll automatically do you a brand new plan, and we'll treat you as a new client a little bit, and this, that, and the other. But yeah, 6 months is kind of. I think if we've gone, if you've cancelled your plan in March and you come back on in September, a lot in that time, weight could have changed. I might have jigged the plans up a little bit. So, it's there you go. So yeah. Does that make sense? Any other questions about going on plan? Ask away. Best money I've spent. Stefan, thank you very much. So most people, if you do start on plan after the middle of the month, I normally say subscription up at the end of the month anyway. And if you do want to come on my one-to-one plan, if you want me to be your one-to-one weight loss coach, it's $29.99 sign up, $29.99 a month. Any of you that sign up now, I'll start your subscription at the end of the month. Not a problem whatsoever. So you just need to pay a startup fee of $29.99. Anyone that signs up before next Thursday, Wednesday tea time, really, I'll get you going on the 16th. We can get you started on Monday, the 16th of June. And then my next start date after that is Monday, the 23rd of June. After that, we're going to be in July because I'm taking 2 weeks off from writing plans up. So the last week of June, I'm on holiday. So don't get me wrong, check-ins still happen. Nothing really changes when I go on holiday. You just don't see me as much doing these. And I will be doing little bits of work while I'm away. Not loads, but I'll be doing little bits of work. I'll keep an eye on things. There'll be no Zoom sessions, no lives. It's just a week. I'm just having a week off. And then when I get back from holiday, we'll be straight back in. So standard next week, standard the week after. Weight loss coaching live, Zoom sessions, lots of content going out. Then I'm going away a week on holiday. The week I'm on holiday, I'll be keeping an eye on a few bits and pieces, but I won't be writing plans up. That's something I won't be doing. And the week I come back from holiday is normally pretty manic because I'm catching up on the week previous. So again, I'm not really going to be writing. So the last week of June, first week of July, I won't be writing any plans up. So after the 23rd of June, my next start date to come on plan is going to be something like maybe like 11th or 12th. I don't know when the second Monday of July falls. Let me have a little look. So after the 23rd of June, my next start date to come on plan, I won't be writing up any. I'll start writing plans up again from the 7th of, will be the 14th of July. So if you want to get going before then, get signed up. Get signed up before Wednesday, next week, and I'll start your week on Monday. You get instant access to the community, fill out your consultation form, send your bits and pieces over, and I'll get you started. In all honesty, if you sign up today and get your consultation form back today, I might get you started Monday. I'll see how I go with if depending on how much I'm going to do a couple of hours work tomorrow, and if I can finish off everyone's check-ins within an hour and I've got a bit of spare time, I might even write your plan up tomorrow. I'm not promising, but if you do sign up today and get your consultation form over, then I might get you started Monday. And again, it stands if you start Monday and you want your subscription to start at the end of the month, not a problem. Not a problem at all. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. Right, let me scan down. I'm not on plan, but you've helped me so much, Neil, with your lives and Vince. Brilliant, Martin, and I hope you're doing good, mate. Donna, good morning. Donna, you asked me a question about 2 weeks ago, and Donna asked me a question. Don 1990 is one of my one-to-one clients, and she sent me a message, actually, and I'm so sorry I've not responded, and I did mean to respond to it. She asked me about me becoming a personal trainer. How the path I went down, and I will respond. I will let you know. I thought about doing it as a podcast, right? My journey from being £514 to 4 years later running a full-time personal training business. I don't know if that'd be interesting or not. I've talked about being a personal trainer, but I thought, should I do would anyone find it interesting as a podcast of how I basically, went from January 2014, struggling to get out of bed on a day-to-day basis, to January 2019, giving up my full-time job as a company accountant and working full-time as a personal trainer. So, I was and ahhing about doing a podcast on it. I don't know if it'd be interesting or not. I don't think there's many. Thanks. Yeah, I would love to hear a podcast about it. So, and I think that's why I didn't respond on it, because I was starting to write it out and I was like, there was a lot behind it. There really was a lot behind it. It wasn't just a case of, I'll become a personal trainer. There was lots of factors to why I went down that role. And a few different, and I am a bit of a believer in fate and a few other bits and pieces. And I'll talk about the path I went down to become a personal trainer, the qualifications that I did, how I then transitioned into setting up a business, how it worked for me. And, some of you guys out there might be wanting to go down the same path. You might have struggled with your weight for years and you might have struggled with your weight for years, had a successful weight loss journey and thought, I want to help other people. And that was kind of my mindset. Right, so I'll do a podcast on it. Only because Donna said, no one else has said they'd find it interesting, but I'll do a podcast on it. How I went from £500 to being a PT in 5 years. There you go. Right, I'll do a podcast on that. It's just a little bit of an insight of me, isn't it, I suppose? Let's have a look. Reads with Tara. Good morning. Good morning, Tara. Great checking for you this morning. I'm £233 now, but lost 33 so far. Boss Fit Memo. Excellent. Very, very good. We love that. £32 down. That's over 2 stone. And, it's not just, sometimes we shouldn't think about what we've lost. Boss Fit memo there, £233. That means you've £265 to start off with. That means you've lost over 10% of your start body weight. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Oh, Debbie Leno. Yes, definitely would love to hear that podcast. Brilliant. Sometimes, I think about that with podcasts. Obviously, I do a lot of podcasts to help out, like mentality approach to weight loss, talking about, calorie counting tips. Sometimes it's nice just to sit here and waffle on. I think I did my last podcast. Was it my last podcast where it was like what life was like to be a morbidly obese person or something like that? And it's just giving little insights. I think a lot of people, we give a lot of people grief for being overweight, and we shouldn't, right? It is an addiction. It is a mental health issue. No one gives someone grief, really, for... I mean, they would and they wouldn't, I suppose. There's always prats out there, isn't there? But, if it was as easy as just stop eating, and which is so many people think it is like that, it just doesn't work like that. Do you know what I mean? Been in a calorie deficit since the 4th of February and lost 3 stone 4 so far. That's absolutely... I mean, that's... I always say this, and I never want people to think that I'm trying to discourage people from losing weight. My whole success around weight loss is I've done it in a very healthy, sustainable fashion. Too many people go at weight loss like a bull in a china shop. Now, calorie deficit, mum at 90, I have no idea what your start weight was. For me, for the majority of people, healthy, sustainable fat loss, where we're putting a method into place that is going to, is something we can stick to get to our goal, is losing 4 stone in a year. The fact you've lost 4 stone in like 3 months, I'm like, that's over a stone a month. Now, if you come back to me and go, I was 30 stone, yes, it can happen, right? The bigger we are, the more weight we can lose in a smaller period of time. I was 37 stone at the start of my weight loss journey, and I lost 10 stone in my first year. So, which is about £10, about £12 a month on average. That's what I was losing. So I'm not saying, so it's all kind of subjective, but I do see a lot of people that might start their weight loss journey at maybe 18 stone, and within 3 months they're under 15. And to at the end of the day, to lose 3 stone 4 pounds, yes, we might have a little whoosh at the start that might be 7 or 8 pounds. But let's just say, for instance, calorie deficit mum at 90 there, 3 stone of that is body fat. That's 150,000 calorie deficit. That means you've been in your calorie deficit has been over 10,000 calories. So basically, the calorie deficit mum at 90, she has, consumed on average over 10,000 calories a week less than she's burned. For a lot of people, that is very, very restrictive. Yes, you're going to get rapid results at the start of your journey, and you're going to see big losses on the scales, but over-restrictive weight loss, fat loss, leads us to hitting that brick wall that I talk about all the time. And the faster we hit that brick wall, the faster we bounce back. If I take a tennis ball and I do that, and it hits the wall, right, just dead gentle, like that, and it hits the wall, it will bounce back off that wall, but maybe a few foot, right? If I take that same tennis ball and absolutely wang it at the wall, it'll hit that wall, and it'll ping back 20 foot, right? So the deeper and harder and faster we go into weight loss, the bigger the speed we're going to hit that brick wall, and the more we're going to regress backwards. And this is where so many people, they'll do a diet, they might lose 3-4 stone in a few months, and then 6-8 months down the line, they're 5 stone heavier than when they first started because of how fast they've hit that brick wall. So calorie deficit mum at 90, I'm honestly not trying to discourage you, but I want you to come back in 12, be able to come on this live in 12 months' time and go, I'm now 6 stone down now. I'm now 8. And then I want you to come back in 2 years' time and go, I'm now 7 stone down, hit my target, and this is what I want. I don't want you to be that person that I get a lot of on my lives that goes, yeah, well, in 2025, I lost 4 stone eating 1,000 calories a day, but I've gained it all back. That is not what we want. That is not a successful weight loss journey. You're having successful weight loss because the scales are coming down. So and sometimes it's not too late. We might start off bull in a china shop, right, and lose a lot of weight early on, but we can soon change. Now, what happens is the big issue is when we go from very restrictive diets to then more healthier, sustainable diets in the middle of the journey, we struggle mentally because you're like, well, when I was doing this, I was losing 3 pounds a week. Now I'm doing this, I'm only losing £1 a week. And it's like, I want to be losing. No. Healthy, sustainable fat loss is £1 a week on average. Yeah. That was me, lost 5 stone by not eating through mental health and piled it all on again. Exactly. That's not what we want. Boss Fit Memo. That's not what we want. We want you to lose the weight and keep it off, right? We don't want you to hit that brick wall. We want every time you're getting towards that brick wall, we want that brick wall to keep moving. Yeah, we should be hitting a brick wall, right? But so many of us do. Yeah. My issues is my mental health. I put so much weight back on, but in a good place and losing again. Ray, that's great to hear. And I think, Ray, when we work together, I can't remember what your last weight was. Well, I can look. I'd save everyone. Anyone that's ever worked with me, right? All your details, GDPR is all safe and this, that, and the other. But I keep all your plans. I don't delete anything, so we can always look back at things. But mental health, mental trauma, big triggers for emotional eating. Now, if you've lost a considerable amount of weight and then your mental health deteriorates for whatever reason and you gain that back, right? There's nothing to say that, can we... A lot of people's weight issues are down to mental health issues, right? The majority, if I'm being honest with you. And normally what a lot of people don't do is they put an approach in to lose weight, go into a calorie deficit, but they don't tackle what's going on here. Could we lose a lot of weight and then have recent mental trauma that can drag things? If it drags things up from the past, you've still not dealt with the past and you should be doing that. But what I'm trying to say is, could we have new mental trauma and we turn back to food eating? That can happen, of course. But again, if we are constantly working on improving this alongside improving what goes in here, we should be able to handle negative emotional situations. So, and it's just a learning curve. I've worked with Ray. We've not worked together one-to-one, maybe for a couple of years. But I remember when me and Ray did work together, she was struggling a little bit with different bits and pieces, and we had a few things. And I know you had some mental blocks with a certain weight and this and that, and we managed to push past that. So maybe it's just old things rearing its ugly head, and it can just be a learning curve. It can just be a case of, no, I didn't tackle this originally, and now I know that if I want to lose the weight and keep it off, I've got to tackle it. Yeah, does that kind of make sense? I've played a date to give up cancer stocks 4th of August, so we will see what happens. Oh, is that what? Cancer sticks? Do you know what? I never ask my clients this because, in all honesty, to my plan, I never know if my clients are smokers or not. It's something I don't really ask. It's obviously very detrimental to health. Is smoking detrimental to weight loss? No. If you are a smoker and you go into a calorie deficit, you'll lose body fat. Where smoking can become detrimental to health is if smoking's a habit, right? Overeating can be a habit. And sometimes we can trade one habit for another one. Very, very, there is a correlation. People that quit smoking that gain weight because we replace the habit of cigarettes with the habit of eating. So it is something, and obviously it's a private matter. Again, I don't really need to know, but if you are a smoker and you're thinking of quitting and you're on plan with me, let me know. Right? I used to be a smoker. I quit in 2013. I quit actually, and nothing to do with weight loss. I just, I used to smoke. I quit in 2013, 12 months before I went on my weight loss journey. So again, it's an addiction that I kind of know what it's like to live with and how to get off it. Yeah. Thank you. Gone from 18 stone 11 to 15.7. So calorie deficit mama 90. That for me is too restrictive a weight loss for your start weight to your current weight. I do not want to discourage you to stop losing weight, but I don't want you to go back to being 18 stone 11 I want 15 stone 7 to be the heaviest you'll ever be for the rest of your life. I want you to keep progressing forwards. So just have a little look at the method. If you're currently going, yeah, I've been eating 1,000 calories a day, or I've been doing 25,000 steps a day, or a bit of both, or I've done that, never eaten a takeaway ever again, I'm never going to enjoy anything in life ever again. We need to just change that a little bit. All right. We need to just make things a little bit more healthier, a bit more sustainable. I'm an ex-smoker and an ex-vapor. I'll be honest with you. I'm an ex-smoker. If I'm drunk and there's a vape knocking about, do I have a little blast on it every now and then? Yeah, I do. I'll be honest with you. It's not something it's just part of. If I'm drunk, I would never do it sober. And so I'm not going to sit here and demonize that. Rachel used to vape when we first got together. She was an ex-smoker, and she used to vape like it was like a dummy. It was never vape. Rachel's quit now. She's not vaped actually since COVID, really. So that's why when Rachel vaped and we'd be on a night out, I would go on to a vape sometimes. But since she's quit vaping, it's very, very rare. But every now and then I do. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I've never, since I quit smoking in 2013, I've probably had a blast on about 4 or 5 cigarettes at a certain time, and I've regretted it. And when I say a blast, I'm like, well, I don't know why I'm doing that. And again, it's all through alcohol. It's all through being drunk. I've never done it sober. Never will. Just back from my first 6K in ages with a great pace for me too. Vapes never out of my mouth. And again, look, to be honest with you, I know there's data. There's limited data around vapes, and I don't care what anyone says. And when the data, vaping for me is better than smoke. It's got to be. Like, I know there's limited data on this still, and I know they go on about different lung conditions through vaping. Is not vaping better than vaping? Of course it is. But would I rather someone vape than smoke cigarette? Yeah. 100%. I generally think that, and this is just for health. It's nothing to do with weight loss. Never smoked, to be honest. Good boy, James. Very, very good. Pace was 15:27 a mile. That is good pace. That's nearly 4 miles an hour. That's decent. That is a decent pace. Yes. Totally agree. I changed my mindset and approach to food, and it's working. Great to hear, Martin. Really, really is. Lots of positivity this morning. I like it. Right, I'm scanning down to see if I've missed anything. If I have missed anything, in fact, I'm not going to scan down to see if I've missed anything. If I have missed anything, please just rewrite it. It's nothing personal. I can't be bothered scanning up. Jamie on Facebook. I've maintained my weight this week, 14 stone 2 pounds. 6 months ago, I was 17 stone 8. Very, very good. So Jamie there for me, he's gone from 17 stone 8 to 14 stone 2. He's lost 3 stone 6 in 6 months, half a stone a month on average, £7 a month. I would say that is all right. It might be virgin. I say 4 stone a year is healthy, sustainable fat loss. If you're on it with your movement and you're not over restricting calories, could you push that to 5, maybe 6? Yes, you could. So I don't think, and I know Jamie. I think we spoke before, and Jamie says his movement's really, really good. So yeah, that is really, really decent. And again, if you look at Jamie's weight, 17 stone 8, 17 is 140. Oh God, my head's not working today. 142. What were you at the start of your weight, Jay? About 240 odd pounds. And then 14 stone is 140, 28. Well, you're about 200 pounds now. So, well, I don't know why I've just not worked it out from 3 stone. 3 stone's 42 pounds plus 6. So you're 48 pounds down. So, again, if you look at that percentage of weight loss, you're probably knocking on, you've lost 20% of your start body weight. That is a big change on your body. That is a big change to be carrying 20% less weight around. Really good. Maintained again this week. Lost 5 pounds in 7 weeks. Not many steps this week. Legs are bad. Yeah, so that could be a contributing factor, Jackie. Also, at your current weight, we have spoke about this before. It is more of a chipping away than seeing big losses consistently. 5 pounds in 7 weeks from your start weight is good progress. And obviously this week, if your legs have been bad, you might have some excess water retention knocking about. If you've got some soreness, some swelling, so that could be counterbalancing the scales a little bit. So yeah, I wouldn't look into it too much. One 5 milligram dose left till I go up. But considering going up early, I'm really torn. I knew you were going to do that, Paula. I knew it. That's why I put in your check-in. I know you've got 5 milligrams left, so just do the best you can. Because you told me that the other night on the Zoom. But I knew you'd be sat there contemplating going up to 7.5. I wouldn't. I genuinely, I'd use that last 5. Even if it's a tougher 2 weeks, test yourself a little bit. You might not want to, but I think you should. I think you should take that 5.5. You've got 7.5 coming. It's just 2 weeks, right? And just do the best you can. Even though you struggled the last 2 weeks, you've lost, right? Let's prove it again that you can still lose, even if things aren't as easy as they might be when suppression's very high on MJ. Look, I can only give you advice. You're your own person. You do exactly what you want to do. But that would be my, that would be my honest advice. It's so hard when it's sat in the fridge. So only one more dose on Monday. I know it is. I know that temptation's there, but this is teaching you a little bit of willpower. Your community is the best. Michael, that is very kind of you to say. Anyone that wants to join the community, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, first month's £5 using code WELCOME. If you feel you need a little bit more support than just being sat in my community, you want me to be your coach, plan to follow, checking in, you get the community included, one-to-one plan, $29.99. Again, TikTok profile, click on my link tree. Click on, and get signed up. And whichever you join, whether you come on the one-to-one, full one-to-one plan, or you just join the community, I'm telling you now, it will help you on your journey. Can you give me tips to lose arm fat as a woman? Raya, that's on YouTube. You can't spot target fat loss. You genuinely can't, right? So if you're on a weight loss journey, you're in a calorie deficit, you're losing body fat, it will just come off where it wants to come off. We can't spot target. What you can do with your arms is you can target your arms to build a little bit of muscle in there, which can maybe, give a better body composition to any body fat that you might have in your arms. So, keep it really, really simple. If you just want to train at home, maybe get yourself a couple of light dumbbells, some nice simple bicep curls, hammer curls, things like that. Get yourself a little resistance band that you can track into a door so you can do some tricep push downs. So, I've not really got much fat in my arms. I've still got a little bit, but I have got a lot of loose skin. There's nothing I can do about my loose skin there. But I go to the gym, I train, I've got a bit of muscle in here that makes them look a little bit better. I've got a bit of tricep muscle in there, which makes them look a little bit better. And that's all you can do. Can I get rid of this? Nope. Right? Losing body fat, would I lose a little bit of this? And like I say, the fat in my arms is very minimal now. I can literally feel my fingers through my loose skin. So I'll have a little bit. You've always got a little bit of body fat knocking about, but you can't spot target fat loss. So I could say, Raya, there's a workout on my website. It's £5. Go sign up. That'll sort you. I could say that, and you might go buy it and spend £5 with me, right? But I'm not going to, because I'll be lying to you, and I'll never lie to you. I never will. There's no point. There's absolutely no point. Liars get caught out. They really do get caught out. Did you have skin removal after your weight loss? I did, and I put a picture on. Actually, if you go through my Instagram, I put a recent picture on. You can actually see my scars. Now I've only had I've had my chest done and my stomach done. That's it. So I've not had skin. Arms, no. Hips, back, no. Legs, inner thighs, no. So I've still got quite a lot of loose skin knocking about, but I have had my chest and my sort of had my apron removed. I had a big apron; it was nearly down to my knees after my weight loss. So yes, I have had a couple of surgeries. I've had 3 surgeries actually. I had my chest done. I've had a fleur-de-lis abdominoplasty, and then I had a revision from my fleur-de-lis because it was quite uneven. I had so much skin removed, and this is something. If anyone does have skin removal, you need to be accepting of. You're not going to have this perfect aesthetically looking body at the end of it, because if you've got a lot of skin, when they draw on you and you lie down, they never quite know where it's going to settle, and it does take time to settle. Anyway, 2 years after having my fleur de lis, and it had settled, they'd removed quite a bit on one side, quite a bit on the other side. It was a little bit uneven. And it still is now, to be honest with you, even after my revision. So I carry more of a pouch on my left side. My right side's really quite flat, but they've done about the best that they could do with it from how much, from how much I did have. But anyway, I was quite lucky, and it was actually during COVID they pulled me in, and they managed to do the revision. So they did neaten up the bottom, so it looks a lot neater, and it is a lot flatter than it was. But it's never good. You're never gonna, you lose skin removal won't massively make you look better in the mirror. What it does do is it just makes life more comfortable because it's not hanging about everywhere. That's kind of how it works, if that makes sense. How much did you opt for the chest and stomach? Because I have bariatric bypass and I have a lot of skin. So I had my chest done in 2016. It'll be a lot dearer than this now. I paid 4,500 or 4,800. I can't remember how much exactly. It was 4.5 grand, maybe a little bit more. I would say now it'd probably be, I don't think it'd be double that, but I reckon you might be on 6. I was very, very lucky that I got my stomach done through the NHS because my loose skin caused me a lot of health issues. And the funding board for the NHS, it's very, very hard to get cosmetic surgery done on the NHS. But I was getting severe, I had a lot of pressure sores when I was 37 stone. And I had a big band of scar tissue around my apron, and that scar tissue kept rupturing from losing weight, from exercising a lot, getting infected. And the NHS basically looked at it and said, that's not going to get any better, and that's going to cost us more in the long run, going to the GP, getting antibiotics on prescription, getting this, getting that, getting the other. And as he gets older and his skin thins, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. I also had quite a lot of psoriasis in between my folds of my skin as well at the time. Now, my psoriasis is actually massively, I didn't have loads, but I had a little bit. So my GP put that down as well as a little icing on the cake. And I went in front of the funding board, and they sort of agreed that, I was 38 years of age when I had my initial thing, and they sort of said, whipping that off now is going to save us more money in the long run. So they did. So I was very, very lucky. Post-COVID now, especially without the NHS, I mean, the NHS has always been on its arse, but I just don't think, I've spoke to my surgeon that did that. I actually messaged him maybe last year and said, I'm possibly thinking of having my hips and my back and that done. And I think he said it'd be 10 grand. He had my notes down. So he said I think it'd be 10 grand. And I did say to him, I said, could we go down the NHS route? What are the chances? And he said, I would. He said, I'd try it, because the worst they can say is no. But he said, I'd say your chances of getting it are maybe 10 to 15%. So anyway, I'm not that bothered, to be honest with you, at the moment. I'm not that bothered. What TDE calculator do you recommend, please? Mine. Join my community. It's £5 for your first month using code WELCOME, and you get a full calorie breakdown from me. Yeah. Bypass was NHS in 2010. Yeah, I just don't think there's that flexibility or freedom anymore in funding. Bodylift and arm lift is 7,300 with the same surgeon my sister has used in Istanbul. Right, so it's 7,300 in Turkey. So yeah, the fact that mine would be 10 grand here isn't bad, really. I suppose it's not bad if you're paying 7,300 to go to Turkey. It's funny, I've got loads of loose skin, but not much on my top tummy apron. Yeah. I did. To be fair, after I had a lot, my loose skin literally sat from here. I have put pictures if you scan through my Instagram before, Do I think I'll have more removal done? I'll only have more skin removal done now if it causes me issues, health issues. So, like I say, as you get older, skin thins. It can, it can tear. It could, And the skin I've got now isn't really, sometimes the skin on my inner thighs can rub a little bit, especially if it's hot, not massively. So you can get a little bit of chafing, but that's just the way it is. But that's not an issue. That's not a reason to have surgery done there. The skin on my arms doesn't, it doesn't bother me. It's not that bad. Obviously, I wouldn't have my face done. So yeah, it just, yeah, I don't know. Back, hips, like I say, if it thins, if it causes me any health issues, yes. Other than that, I don't think I probably would, Anyway, right, guys, I've got to go. Got to go get some, just massive expensive. It's really expensive. It's a big cost. It is. Right, I'm going. I'm going to go get some dinner. I'm going to try and jump on about 5 for like a weekend sign-off live. I think I have put it in my newsletter. I didn't mean to. I don't know if I have or not. It all depends on how work goes this afternoon. But I like coming on and doing a little break. So keep a lookout. If you're on Planner in the Community, I'll obviously broadcast out if I'm jumping back on. If you're not on Planner in the Community, why are you not on Planner in the Community? Come get on board, and we'll get you signed up. And you'll get, if I ever go live, you'll know when I go live. Why? Because I tell you I'm going live. I'll send you out a broadcast message. But yeah, I should be on, fingers crossed, at about 5 o'clock, only for half an hour, just for a little weekend sign off. And then, but if I don't make it back on, I will be back, as always, 8:30 a.m. Monday morning with a new weight loss week. So if I don't see you later on, or I don't make it back on, have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Right, TikTok, I'm signing off to you first. Hopefully see you in a few hours. If not, I'll see you Monday morning. And exactly the same for you people over here, Facebook, YouTube. If I don't see you in a few hours, I will definitely see you Monday morning if you're free.